Welcome back into the Bettor Half Hour, my favorite segment where we bring you veterans in the sports betting space. You've seen her crush on this show. She's been all over the betting exchange as well as Bettapalooza. The face of Yahoo Sports, Minty Bets. Minty, great to be with you. How are you?
I'm doing well, Alex. I missed you. We took the week off last week, and it feels like it's been a while since we've been on.
I know. I'm excited to now shift to a little NBA. Let's start with the two teams who had the blockbuster trade right before the trade deadline. We're looking at Harden coming out the gate, firing right now with the Sixers, 2-0 with them in the lineup. Of course, the Nets get Simmons back in a few. They get KD back, picked up Dragic. What are your thoughts on these two clubs, and who do you think, if you were to put your money on, either to go farther in the East and or to the finals?
Okay, so between these two teams to go farther, I would have to say the Nets. The odds speak for themselves. Brooklyn is currently plus 245 to win the Eastern Conference, while Philly is plus 370. I mean, they're the favorite to win the East. If Simmons gets well soon, and then you've got a bump in defense. Hopefully KD and Kyrie can play more games than not. And then you throw Steph Curry into the mix, and you've got power and shooting. So my money between the two options would be on the Nets to go farther.
Let's shift to the West, Minty. We're looking at this Suns team, absolutely dominating all season, been atop the standings the whole campaign, but they lose Chris Paul, Mr. State Farm. I think about 6 to 8 weeks, they're saying, is the timetable. How confident are you in the Suns the rest of the regular season and potentially into the playoffs if Chris is limited or not fully healthy?
You know, Chris Paul is a valuable player for Phoenix for sure. He leads the NBA in assists. He's only missed a handful of regular season games with the Suns and missed a couple of games in the postseason, but Phoenix didn't flop without him. Initially, my instinct was to fade this team as it would be affected by his absence and maybe they would drop a few games, but this team has a lot of depth. You've got 6 players averaging double digits, and in that group, you've got Devin Booker, who is one of the league's leading scorers. It's unfortunate Chris Paul will miss quite a few games, but if the rest of the team stays pretty healthy and consistent, then I don't doubt they'll be able to stay on top in the West.
And the other team in the West that is right there with them, as far as the futures go, we're seeing this Warriors team around plus 185-ish to win the Western Conference. They get Draymond back here soon. How do you like the Warriors' chances to come out of the West? I know they had a rough L last night after a huge lead against Dallas.
Yeah, I just talked up the Suns like crazy. The West is a pretty competitive conference, and it's expected for them to sneak up behind Phoenix to take the top of the West. Is there value? Kinda, because they were plus 275 to win the conference preseason, I think, and 11 to 1 to win it all. The value for them to take the West is kind of diminished, but when the Warriors get going and clicking, they're dominant, and I wouldn't blame anyone for wanting to bet on them in their current form, especially if Draymond is supposed to come back. That'll be a great boost defensively, plus his chemistry with Steph and Clay can't be replicated. So I kind of do like the Warriors, even though I just talked up the Suns the whole ton.
Let's talk about college basketball now. We're coming up on the month of March here this week. We all know March Madness is right around the corner. We had a historic weekend in terms of top 10 teams losing. 7 of the top 10 lost, Minty. If you have lost confidence or are still clinging to some confidence, was one of those teams that did catch an L this past weekend. Who do you like going far in the March Madness tournament later this month?
So I'm just getting locked into college basketball now since football just ended. College basketball is so exciting to watch entering March Madness, especially because we see some crazy upsets like this. Even without having to follow a specific team, you can just feel the energy of these games. Now, I don't want to overreact to any of these upsets on these top teams because it happens. It just so happened to happen in one day, which was the crazy part. I still love Gonzaga to go deep, Arizona and Kentucky. I'm not super high on Purdue or Auburn to go terribly far, though.
All right, well, let's talk about one other club that has a Hall of Fame coach. They're making their last ride with Coach K and the Duke Blue Devils, plus 1,200 coming out of the ACC to win the tournament. Do you think they can do one more for Coach K, Minty, before he heads on out into the sunset?
So the Blue Devils are certainly playing with momentum behind this Coach K angle. Their defense is their strength. And yeah, the ACC was like weak last season, which makes you question if they're really being tested against good competition. But this team possesses a lot of talent and a good mix of experienced players and freshmen. So for value purposes, I love 12-1 with Duke.
Let's talk about Sean McVay right now. We're seeing these rumors swirl. He's getting a ton of money thrown at him. The broadcast booth flirt here. What do you make of that? And if you were to return to the Rams, how do you like their chances to go back-to-back?
So I really like the Rams with McVay. So without him, I don't really have much hope. But, 55-26, that's Sean McVay's record as a head coach, and that's pretty darn good. The Rams have had a winning record every season since he took over for LA, and they've gone to the Super Bowl twice. Obviously, it depends who would have potentially taken over if McVay were to take that offer in the broadcast booth, but it just wouldn't have been the same. I don't think there would be a smooth transition there, so the Rams' best chances are with McVay there.
All right, I'll get you out of here with this. Let's talk a little New York football. Jets and the Giants both have multiple first-round picks here and in the top 10, mind you. If you were to bet on one of these two clubs that have a better turnaround next season, of course, Giants getting a new head coach, who do you like and why?
Oh, man, I wouldn't bet on them, but if I were to have to, most significant to improve, both teams need a lot of help, but I would say the Jets. They need offensive linemen, pass rushers, corners. The Jets just hired a few more experienced coaches under Salas, so I think they can certainly work with these rookies and have a better season than 4-13, so Jets.
All right, Minty, as always, bringing phenomenal value to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't go anywhere. We're laying the land for the week. Action-packed sports slate. Don't go anywhere here on the Bettor Half Hour.